Hi friends, welcome to our channel. I'm Mekatachalam and she's Nitya. Yesterday we have already seen the overview of how to apply for the PR, and today we are going to discuss about the in-depth of applying PR, that is the step-by-step process.
Yeah, as a first step, you would have checked your eligibility through CRS calculator. So, if you have identified whether you're eligible, as a second step, you can apply for IELTS. People who don't know what is IELTS is International English Language Testing System, and it is provided by British Council and IDP. So you can either take it from British Council or IDP. And nowadays it is online as well as paper based. When we wrote, it was like a paper based test. And IELTS has two categories. One is general, another one is academic. PR accepts only general category of IELTS, so you have to write IELTS general. And the minimum qualification which is required for the primary applicant to be qualified is like they have to get CLB 7. The equivalent score of IELTS is 6 in each category, that is speaking, reading, writing and listening. So that is the minimum qualification required. And for the maximum points you have to obtain CLB 9. So anything greater than CLB 9 or CLB 10 will give you the maximum points. So the equivalent to IELTS score for CLB 9 is in listening you have to get 8, and the rest of the categories like reading, writing and speaking you have to get 7.
7 in each.
Yeah, and IELTS is valid for 2 years. So before that you have to submit, like you should have received your ITA and you should have submitted your application. So the validity of IELTS, you have to remember, it is for 2 years.
Not only IELTS you can write, there is even one more French will be assisted as their national language over here.
Yeah, so French test, they call it as TEF. So even that can be taken,
if you know French as your
to
language,
your
you can even improve your score in CRS.
Because you cannot improve any other factors of scores because of your maybe your education or age cannot be changed. So IELTS is only point where you can score your points. So you should target for the maximum points in IELTS. So that is the second step which you have to do. And as a third step, you have to apply for ECA, which is called Education Credential Assessment, and that is provided by WES. WES is
the World
Education Services. So if you have done any degree outside Canada, it is required for you to apply for ECA through WES. So WES will evaluate your degree, which is equivalent to the Canadian degree. So like if you've done your bachelor's or master's, that might be considered as bachelor's here. If you've done your master's, they'll evaluate and they'll consider that as a master's. Some masters done in India might not be considered as master's, and it might be considered as a 1-year degree. And even there is a possibility like you can have 2 or more degrees. So there are different categories. So all those degrees which are done outside Canada has to be evaluated through WS, and they'll be giving you a report. As if you take us, we applied even this step of applying to WS at the same time we did IELTS, because the processing time for WS is quite long. So
because of the large number of applicants nowadays, and it is taking a lot of time.
Yeah, right. Because of the large number of applications, it is taking a lot of time. So we applied WS at the same time when we also booked IELTS exam, so that this process can go parallelly side by side. And one more thing which we wanted to tell is WS report is valid for 5 years. So IELTS has a validity of 2 years, but WS has a validity of that report has a validity of 5 years.
5 years. Talking about WS, what you should do is when you have done your double degree, you should go to your respective both the colleges and apply for the transcript. What the colleges will do is they will send the transcript to the WS directly, and you'll be receiving your WS report within the time frame which they have mentioned.
Yeah, and some people might start the WS process after getting to know their IELTS results because they don't want to waste their money. But as far as we concerned, instead of wasting the processing time, we felt that both of these can be done simultaneously and combined. And as a fourth step which you have to do apart from these two is
the proof of fund. You should be able to show
you should be ready for the proof of funds. Like, though it is a document which is required after you receive an ITA, you should start readying for your proof of funds. Proof of funds is required to substantiate that you can manage in Canada for the first few months when you come. So you have to keep in mind this point, like when you start your process, so that you don't do any sudden bulk transfers to your account, because that might arise
The source of fund where
questions
you have
on the
received
source
the
of funds, and because of these questions there might be delay in processing. So to
And
avoid
depending
all
upon
these,
how many numbers of family members in your
yeah, depending upon the number of family members, the amount of proof of fund can vary. So you can check that in the CIC website, like how much you have to put or show in the bank statement. Like probably we showed as fixed deposits. We show 2 different fixed deposits, and as well as some in bank accounts. So you can show mixture of fund
Funds,
types, and the amount also will vary according to the number of dependents you have. So this you have to keep in mind at this point itself, so that you can gradually start saving and showing the increase in your account. So this is the next step which you have to do.
and the last one is you can get into the pool.
Yeah, once all these are done, you can get into the pool. Like, you can submit a express entry profile. So once you submit an express entry profile, you will be going into the pool, where IRCC will conduct draws fortnightly, like once in 2 weeks. And if your score is equal to or above the cutoff, you will be eligible
You'll
to
be
receive an
receiving
ITA.
ITA.
Yeah, so ITA is invitation to apply. So if you are equal to or above the cutoff, you will receive an invitation to apply, and you'll have a specified time, like 60 days, like within which you have
Within
to
that,
submit
you
your
should
application.
collect all your post ITA papers, and you should be ready to submit that.
Yeah, post ITA documents we'll probably explain you in a separate video. But if you're not selected, you'll be in the pool for about 1 year time span. So after that, you'll automatically be
Come out of the pool,
coming out of
and
the pool.
again you got to register for
Yeah,
to get
you have
into the
to
pool.
put it as a new application, express entry profile. You have to create a new express entry profile after that. So these are the pre-ITA steps which has to be done once you start processing. So once you receive an ITA, the next thing we'll talk about the post-ITA process, what documentations has to be ready, which we'll see in the upcoming videos.
So if you have any questions, please do post us in the comment, and we'll post more videos in the upcoming ones. Thank you.
Thank you.